Okay. Hello. Can y'all hear me? Hold on. Hold on. Come on. Okay. 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 Shit. Okay. 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 I think I'm good. Okay. I think I'm good. All right. So I'm going to play some music. Okay. I think. All right. So I'm going to play some music. So we're gonna start this over. I'm gonna play for about maybe 3 minutes, and we'll begin to read. But like I said, I read the wrong chapter this Sunday. I read a chapter that I already read. See, last Sunday I read the chapter rules, but this past Saturday I realized that last Sunday, my whole live was silent. So I was reading to nobody. Nobody could hear me. Oh my, it just started raining. But so I ended up having to read the same chapter this past Sunday, and I realized that I read the wrong chapter. I read the chapter that I read before rules, and I'm just all discombobulated. So we're going to read rules, and hopefully it stays. Hopefully it you can hear. So I've been paying attention uh to see if it's picking up sound, and it is. So we're going to continue to listen to music, and then we're going to get into it. What you want me to be, feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, but under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. Just come even to tell. We come so far, I can feel you there. We come so tight, so much more away. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. Can't you see that you're smothering me? Holding too tightly, afraid to lose control. Cause everything that you thought I would be is falling apart right in front of you. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. Yo, that is actually one of my favorite songs. That was actually one of my favorite songs growing up, because if you actually listen to the words to that song, it's like, I'm tired of being what you want me to be. I'm tired of being what you want me to be. Feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me. Put under the pressure of walking in your shoes, honey. I have my own life. I have my own, you know. That's what that numb song by Linkin Park. That was one of my favorite songs growing up because I was tired of people trying to make me be what they wanted me to be. You know, I'm me. Accept me for who I am. Shit. So a lot of times I've pretended a lot of my life, you know, because people was trying to change me a lot. So, you know, then I got to the point where not, you know what, I don't care. If I lose people for just being me, then I'm okay with losing people. If I go to hell just by being myself, I'm ready to go to hell. I'd rather be in hell. I just want to be me. That's it. That's it. That's all. So we're gonna get started. Let me play my elevator music. We're gonna see. So right now we're going to start. We're gonna start. We're gonna start at rules. Rules is the chapter we're reading today. Rules. Okay. So give me 1 second. Oh yes. Oh my god, that feels really, really good. That feels really, really good. You really underestimate the scratch of your scalp. Okay. We're gonna get started. We're gonna get started, okay? Oh no. What is all this? Free, you gotta be more careful. You got to be more careful. All right, rules. We're gonna start, okay? We're gonna start. Everybody ready? Y'all ready? Get ready. And if you ain't got this book, get off Amazon. Get off Amazon if you're trying to follow along. We go live every Sunday. We're going live today, Tuesday morning, because I made a mistake. Go to the beginning of the video to figure out what I did. I made a huge mistake. So that's why I'm doing today. So let us continue. Let's turn this up just a tad bit and we're going to get started. My friend Ashley took her first hot yoga class recently. She walked into the room, unrolled her mat, sat down, and waited for something to happen. It was exceptionally hot in there, she told me. When the instructor, young and confident, finally walked into the room, Ashley was already dripping with sweat. The instructor announced, "We'll start soon. You are going to get very hot, but you can't leave this room. No matter how you begin to feel, stay strong. Don't leave. This is the work." The class got started, and a few minutes in, the walls began to close in on Ashley. She felt lightheaded and sick. She breathed. Each breath became harder and harder to come by. Twice her vision became spotty, then briefly went black. She looked at the door and felt desperate to run toward it. She spent 90 minutes terrified, close to hyperventilating, holding back tears, but she did not leave that room. The moment the instructor ended the class and opened the door, Ashley jumped off her mat and ran into the hallway. And you know what? If you ever been in a sauna and it got hot and you left that sauna, it feels so fucking good. I bet it felt good as hell in that hallway when she left out that room. But like, I don't know why was her. I don't know. But anyway, let me continue. This is a really, really short chapter. We got just a little bit left. She kept her hand over her mouth until she found the bathroom. She threw the door open and vomited all over the sink, the wall, the floor. While she was on her hands and knees wiping up her own puke with paper towels, she thought, what is wrong with me? That's what the fuck I was wondering. What the fuck was wrong with her? She said, what is wrong with me? Why did I stay and suffer? The door wasn't even locked. It wasn't locked. You could have left if you wanted. But it was the fear. It was the fear that the instructor told you that you couldn't leave no matter how uncomfortable it got. Don't leave, stay strong. And because she said that you had this fear of something bad is going to happen if I leave. So I'm going to stay and I'm going to suffer and I'm going to lose my vision and almost die because this lady said stay. And basically from what I interpret from it, she told people to stay because you have to feel the full thing. But if you couldn't stay, honey, don't sit there and die. But that's totally understandable because, like I always say, women are born or women are raised or women are conditioned to please, even if it's harming her. Stay with that man because he's gonna one day find the love for you. He's gonna do that. You just gotta stay. You just gotta show him that you love him. Then one day he's gonna show all his love for you. Okay, so we are going to do what we do best. Okay, in the chapter rules, I'm not gonna get this out the way. You get out of my motherfucking way, yo. Let me put you right there. All right. Hey, hold on. I gotta make sure my shit works because my microphone be fucking me up sometimes. All right. Hmm. Yo. 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 Oh my God. I'm hoping that it's no echoing going on here, yo. Jeez, I'm hoping that this turns out right because this is really something else. All right, so okay. So Doyle, she tells a story about her friend Ashley who stays in a hot yoga class even after feeling ill. The instructor had said, "Don't leave," although the door was unlocked. Ashley stays despite. Why did she stay? I was wondering as I was reading it, I was wondering why the fuck did she stay if she was losing her vision? If her vision was blacking out, her vision was getting blurred, why did she stay? She stayed because the instructor told her to stay. And there was some fear there that if she left, something bad was going to happen. It was the unknown. She was going through the fear of the unknown, the fear of the unknown, because she was going through a lot in this session. And all she had to do was get the fuck up and leave. But the fear of the unknown, the instructor said don't leave. The instructor don't have control over you, you know. But I totally understand why she stayed. I probably would have did the same thing, thinking like, damn, I would probably left if somebody else left, but I didn't want to fuck up anything. So I understand why she stayed. Um, because the fear of the unknown, she didn't know what was going to happen if she got up and left. That's the fear of the unknown. Although when you look at the whole situation from the surface level, you can't really tell that it is fear of the unknown. But if you look deeper into it, it's the fear of the unknown. fear of the unknown. Okay. So this becomes a metaphor for many rules we follow in life. Social rules, internalized expectation, cultural shoulds that we obey even when they harm us or suppress us. The idea is how we're often taught to control ourselves, endure discomfort, and conform. Okay. Rules often originate outside of us. Okay. Many of the rules we live by, what to do, how to act, what to feel, are imposed by society, culture, family. We often accept them without questioning. Rules shows how staying because someone told you to rather than because it's right for you can become a form of self abuse. So, meaning you're staying in a marriage that's stressing you out, that's making you lose your hair because everybody in society or majority of people think that you're supposed to stay through thick and thin, but it's harming you. Leave. Leave. This is one thing I don't understand. A lot of people stay, and this is for whoever it's for. This is not for everybody. So it really ticks me off when sometimes when people are in a stressful situation, they're in a marriage, they're in a relationship, long-term relationship, and one of the people in there, they're I'm gonna just say women because I'm a woman. We're talking about women here. Most of the time the woman is stressed out. She don't know, like, she's stressed out. And the reason most people stay in these relationships, even if it's detrimental to your health, they stay for the kids. Fuck the kids right now, honey. You can't give the kids the proper care if you fucked up in the head, if you stressed out, if this marriage is causing you mental harm. You have to be 100% in order to give your kids 100%, honey. Staying for the kids is abuse to yourself and abuse to the children, honey. I understand society got everybody thinking that you have to stay because the kids. Fuck them kids right now. And I'm not saying fuck them like throw them to the curb, but fuck them right now. In order to give them the proper love and care that they deserve, you have to be 100% up here. And if being 100% up here means you have to leave the father of those kids, you have to leave the father of those kids. You need to be 100% mentally in order to take care of them correctly. Okay? Don't stop staying for the kids. The kids will understand. The kids will understand the older they get. We all, how many of y'all grew up and your parents wasn't together, but they was always into it and things like that, and you started feeling resentment towards the parent that wasn't in the home. But then the older you got, you started to realize, oh, mom, you was kind of the problem. I kind of see it now. You kind of had full control over us and things like that. But you was a big part of the problem. I see it now. The kids grow and kids will figure out who's the problem. Okay. So you really don't have to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Obedience to arbitrary or culturally inherited rules often means ignoring one's own body, feelings, desires, or well being. It can lead to self denial, shame, anxiety, or disconnection from self. Um, yeah, blind obedience. Blind obedience. That's what that is. We are obedient, like even to religion. To religion. Um,
I believe the concepts and things because like I said, I've said years ago, the Bible, it's a book full of parables, and it's like stories that it's a parable is like a story that you tell to get people to understand a moral lesson or something like that. I don't know, but it's something close to that. And um, so I believe in the concepts and things of the Bible. But I do not believe in religion. And one thing, um, one thing, one thing I noticed because I'm going to see the movie Him, the Marlon Wayans movie. I'm going to see the movie Him, and I've been on TikTok, right, and I've seen a lot of people, and I'm assuming, most of them were Christians. I've seen maybe like 4 or 5 videos of people leaving that movie because they feel it's demonic. It's too much demonic shit going on. Not under the blood of Jesus, this and that. They leave in the movie theater because they think it's demonic. But I know, I can only imagine. I know it's something deeper. This is one of the reasons why I do not listen to Christians. I don't listen, and I don't mean no disrespect. I don't listen to no religion people who are religious. I don't listen to them. I don't trust them because and not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying they're bad people. I don't trust them or anything like that because I feel as if they were they were given that religion. They didn't choose that religion on their own. Somebody told them, somebody down the line, even if it's generational, told them this is the religion you're going to go by. And they said, "Okay." But because we when we're young, we look at the adults as like gods, not literally, but we look at them like they know everything. They have the answers to everything. They're never right. They're never wrong. They're always right. So we're going to listen to our parents, and most of the time we're just programmed into believing in this shit. So most times I don't really value anything from Christians or anybody who their whole personality is religion, is because you didn't even choose your own religion. You let somebody do that for you. So why are you trying to tell me something when you can't even do nothing for yourself? That's really how I feel. That's really how I feel. Um, I believe religious people are living in fear. Living in fear is not healthy. You can't live in fear. You just living in fear is low vibrational, and living in fear it opens the door to low vibrational entities or beings entering you. When you live in a low vibrational state or low vibrational, when you operate in low vibrational emotions, um, you are easily accessible by those dark low vibrational entities that's flowing around, that's here right now. We just can't see it because we're not on that frequency. Sometimes I don't know. You just got to be careful. Got to be careful. Room for choice. Although the rules are powerful, Doyle suggests they are not absolute. The unlocked door in the yoga metaphor symbolizes that many rules are optional or at least negotiable. They are enforced by belief, not by iron bars. Recognizing one's power to choose is the first step toward living more aligned with your inner knowing. Okay. So life is just like this. This is life. Um uh Rules are optional or at least negotiable. They are enforced by belief. So even the what word am I looking for? Laws. The laws only work because we, the people, follow the law. If none of us follow the law, see a lot, we don't know the power that we have as a collective. The people have the power. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but I don't know if y'all paid attention to the Jimmy Kimmel shit. They took him down for saying some shit about Charlie Kirk, and they canceled the show. But us as a collective, the people as a collective, we're moving into, we starting to realize how powerful we are. We got the power. So what happened was, so many people deleted their subscription with Disney and things like that, to the point where Disney, in just a little amount of time, I'm not sure, I'm gonna have to look this up. I'm sorry I didn't get all the information. I didn't even plan on talking about this, but you can look this up. In a short amount of time, I think Disney or whatever, they lost about $4 billion. Billion, I think. Please don't quote me on that, but I think it was in the billions, and I think it was 4 billion if I'm not mistaken. And so, because us the people stood on business, and so now Jimmy Kimmel getting his show back, because we the people. A lot of times we follow the laws because that's why they have police. It puts fear. The government is thriving because the majority of us is operating under fear. The fact that we are under fear pays them. Fear is a $1 billion-trillion industry. That's why they need us to stay in fear, because it pays. Fear pays. Fear pays. So the fear of going to jail. So you're gonna pay fucking child support. I don't know. You're gonna pay the fucking car. No, I don't know. But living under fear is why the government is thriving, because all they gotta do is tell us some shit. We're gonna believe it because it's on TV. Majority of us is gonna believe it. There's a selected few that can see through the bullshit. So like I said, most rules are enforced by belief, and it's instilled in us to the point it's like second nature. It's the rule. And laws, I need y'all to understand what I said a little bit ago, about 2 minutes ago. I need y'all to get that in your mind. I'm trying to water the seed in your brain. I need y'all to really get that in your mind, because we have the power. The people do. We do. I'm telling you, they need us to live in fear. Because if we're not living in fear, we'll wake up. They don't want us to wake up. They don't want us to. Look at the ant movie. Remember when the ants got together and they start realizing there's so many of us, we can take them. That's what they don't want. That's what they don't want, honey. Knowing versus should. Let's see. One of the larger themes in Untamed is distinguishing between what we should do, or what has been preached to us, versus what we know to be true in our bodies and hearts. The rules chapter contributes to that contrast. Rules are often shoulds, whereas later chapters talk about accessing feeling, intuition, imagination, etc. So, yeah. Part part of part one, caged. This chapter helps set up why many people feel restricted, trapped, or caged in unsatisfying or painful lives. The idea of rules frames how captivity isn't always external cages. It often lives in internal psychological cultural structures. That's why I always say the brain is powerful. The mind is like one of the most powerful things. That's why when you focus, that's why focus is powerful. That's why listen to me when I say this. Listen to me when I say this. The mind is so powerful. This is why I believe they want women to be crazy about marriage at a young age. You know, in society, it's normal for a woman to they try to get women to want to get married early, and because like like I said, we're conditioned as little girls to want to be a wife and want to have kids and want to find a husband and cater to our husband and stay at home mom and stuff like that. That's like the main goal that they uh instill in us or program us to believe in. So by the time we're about 18, 20, 21 or whatever, we're ready to get married when we're not even developed yet. So I believe they want women to get married early is because they don't want women to experience the freedom that men got without marriage and while in marriage. They don't want women to experience that freedom because if she experienced the freedom before she get married, she's going to be demanding. Okay, if you want me to give up my freedom, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to take care of you. What you offer is going to have to be better than the freedom that I'm experiencing without you, honey. So they did that because they don't want I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if you think about it, it's control. They know that the younger a woman is, the more malleable she is, the more moldable she is, and so they force us, they program us to want marriage at a young age because they don't want us to experience that freedom. It's that freedom because I'm telling you, if every woman got to experience the freedom of being single and figuring herself out, if women who got married, if the women who got married really young, if they got to experience that freedom first, they probably wouldn't want to get married, or they probably would make better choices. They probably would have made better choices because when you experience that freedom, like a lot of people experience that freedom after marriage, and then they're like, "Damn, why I would have never got married if I knew about this." But you were programmed to believe that you had to get married right out of high school. You had to find a husband, and a lot of times our families put that in us. It could be you could be living in a family where everybody's married, and so now you feel pressure to get married. You don't have to. That's why I say that's why I always preach, get to know yourself. And when you know yourself, you start to fall in love with yourself when you start getting to know yourself. And you will start to feel like you're not gonna I ain't gonna let nobody do nothing to you. I ain't gonna let nobody hurt you no more. And so you're gonna make choices for yourself, not for them. You're going to get married because you want to get married. You're not getting married because everybody in your family married or your mom and your dad in the church want you to get married. Fuck that. Get married because you want to get married. Make sure every choice that you make is a choice that you wanted to make, your own intentional choice. So, yeah, that's why they want women to get into marriage early, because I'm telling you, if women experience that freedom before marriage, they will be demanding more. Women women as a collective, our standards are too fucking low. The standards are too fucking low. You need to raise them bitches high. And the only people that's gonna complain about your standards being high is motherfuckers that can't honor your standards. They can't reach your standards. They can't provide for you, provide what you need. Those are the only ones that's going to be complaining. But there are also ones that's going to be honored to cater to your needs, huh? They're going to be honored to cater to your needs. So understand. It foreshadows the keys, part two, where Doyle shows how to unlock questions, dismantle or rewrite many of the rules, replacing them with what she calls knowing imagination. Conditioning versus choice. We've been conditioned to believe certain rules are absolute about gender, relationships, success, faith, sexuality, but most are man made and optional. Yes, I agree with that. I do believe that on the sexuality part, I do believe humanity is fluid. Humanity is fluid. I truly, down to my core, believe that. I genuinely believe that. I just believe we just been conditioned so much you can't even see. Like, I just wish everybody in the world could see through the lens that I see, to see through this eye. Like, y'all don't even understand what I'm saying because y'all listening with these ears and y'all seeing with these eyes. You gotta listen to your mind's eye and your mind's ears. You have to understand some of this stuff. Um, yeah, so a lot of people think the rules about gender, relationships, sex, faith, sexuality, those are the right rules. No, to be honest, each individual person, you can choose the life you want to live. You can make your own fucking rules. Uh, and when I say you can make your own rules, you can make your own rules, whether they're evil or good. But understand there's consequences that comes with everything. So if you think you can do anything you want and you want to be evil and you feel like you want to do some evil shit, understand you will reap the benefits of what you've sown out into the universe. The universe is a mirror. The universe mocks you. The universe gives you what you give it. Okay? The cost of obedience. Following the rules can mean silencing your own voice, ignoring your own body, or betraying your spirit. Yes, it will. Always speak up for yourself. And a lot of so many, I don't like rules. I hate following rules. Rules make me feel limited. Rules make me feel like rules to me is each rule is like a bar. And all these fucking rules, I'm behind all these rules. Get me the fuck out of prison. Get me the fuck out of prison. A lot of times rules are followed because there's so much fear in the mind. Too much fear. Um and yes, like she said, hmm, you know, I know growing up, I know that it was like a normal thing. Women should be quiet. Women should shut up. I even grew up in the era where that's what I knew that's how things were supposed to be. I thought women shouldn't say anything, like always the men should. Honey, you are stunting yourself when you do that. I knew I always like to talk. I know I always like to talk. Whether I'm talking about, I just like to talk. I just like to talk. I like to have deep conversations and where I can learn from, and the whether it's the other person that I'm talking to. Um, a lot of times following rules means you are betraying yourself. And for instance, since we're talking about Untamed and we're on the women's empowerment, we can talk about marriage. Staying in a marriage that is killing you from the inside out. See, that's a rule that most women follow because the rule is you need to stay, you're married, stay for the kids and shit like that. That's a rule that will be detriment to you, if you continue to follow that rule. Um, sometimes being married, I've never been married, but I've been in a long-term relationship. And I told everybody I was married. So, bitch, I was married. I was married because I said I was married. I don't believe in marriage because I don't believe in, to me, it's a contract. It's not about love. I think marriage should be about love. And I won't never get married because I'm not signing no paper. And I feel as if I say I'm married, I said I'm married. And you're going to believe that because I feel like I'm a grown ass woman and the government shouldn't tell me if I could get married or not. Who the fuck? I say what I fucking am. Why do I need permission to get married or want to spend my life with the person that I love? Fuck you and your certificate. I don't need it. It's a contract. It ain't for love. Okay? Marriage was built to control women. Marriage was built to control. Okay? It was built to control, to enslave women so that every man can get a piece of pussy. Every man can get a piece of pussy. That's all marriage is for. In-house pussy. I'm gonna cheat on you, wife. But at least I got some pussy in the house that I can use up whenever I want to because, hey, the first step to living free is realizing, wait, I can just walk out the fucking door. I remember one time I was at the gym with my brother some years back, and we were working out with some guy. And we wanted to go into this room, but we wasn't sure. It was like you can tell we was like confused or whatever. And this guy said, there's a trick to that. He said, if you if y'all over here looking confused, then somebody's going to see y'all and be like, they're doing something they're not supposed to do. He said, you gotta look like you know what you're doing. So I'm gonna go inside the room. He just opened the door and went in like he just knew what he was doing. And I'm like, ain't nobody finna. You're right. Ain't nobody worried about us. Ain't not like that. That be the thing. It'd be the fear of people. You think of people watching you all the time. And so that I learned a lesson there, and I'm like, oh, ever since that day, he did that. I'm like, you just gotta pretend you know what you're doing. If you're just moving fluidly through life and not looking confused, people are gonna assume that she ain't doing nothing wrong. She know what she doing. So that I learned that was some jewels back then, and I never forgot that shit. Um, This chapter is an invitation to pause and ask which rules in my life are keeping me caged and which ones are actually mine to keep. Which rules that you follow um that you feel like is keeping you caged? I believe I don't know. I can't think of no rules. Because right now I don't really follow too many rules. I don't really follow too many rules. It's not my thing. following rules is just not my thing. I don't like to follow rules. Rules are annoying. They're annoying. It also reminds us that rebellion isn't always loud. It can simply be listening to your body and saying, I don't have to fucking stay here. I don't have to stay here. Like, sometimes I don't understand why people lie. And I'm speaking to myself too, because I've lied. I've lied. Because who's gonna whoop you? You're an adult. Who's going to whoop your ass? I feel like most people lie because it's not really it's they don't lie for the person that they're lying to. They lie for themselves. They lie because they're selfish. They don't lie because they care about your feelings. They lie because the truth may make you move in a way that isn't good for them. It may make you, it may make, like I said, people lie because it may. I'm trying to say it so that y'all can understand it. I didn't realize. I was. I apologize. Let me. I need it. Um. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So a lot of times people they don't lie. They lie for themselves. They lie because the truth may make you move in a way that is detrimental to the reality that they created, you know? So my laptop is about to die soon. So we are okay, I got a little bit percent left. We are going to speed it up a little bit. What rule have you followed in your life that felt harmful or restrictive? Not talking. Not talking. I truly believe that women weren't supposed to talk. But I knew that I talk to myself so much. Like I said, I think I said this before, but I grew up and I used to get in trouble for sitting on the bathroom sink and talking to myself. I would sometimes draw myself a mustache. I would act like a man, and my nose would be flared up like this. Yeah, so yeah. And I would just watch myself in the mirror, just talking to myself. Sometimes I had an uncle who said one time he was listening to me and, it was funny and things like that. But I did used to think that women shouldn't talk. And then I went through a life and honey, a fire was lit in me and now I'm talking. And then when my mom died, it ignited even more. The death of my mom created another version of me. I'm telling you, like, I don't know, life is crazy. Life is so crazy. I truly believe that if my mom would be so proud of me if she was here. She would be so fucking proud of me if she was here today. She definitely would. That lady would be. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, and I feel like talking, because I feel like when you don't speak up, when you don't speak up, because a lot of times women are conditioned just to not speak up because the men know everything and things like that in a relationship. And it hurts. It will turn you into somebody who will end up resenting the person that you're with. I'm telling you, the rules that they got on what the rules of patriarchy, it's only gonna fuck men up in the end. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Mm. Have you ever realized that a rule wasn't real, like an unlocked door? What happened when you stepped out? A rule that ain't real. Be good or you're gonna go to hell. Be good or you're gonna go to hell. I know a lot of us have believed in that rule. That rule was created from fear. It was created to put people in fear so that you can be obedient. Um, Once I realized, you know what, we're all spiritual beings and things like that. We're all spiritual beings and we're all going to heaven when we die. We're all going to where our mind takes us when we die. I truly know I'm not going to hell. There's no such thing as hell. I've already been through hell. Hell is in the mind. Hell is down there, the lower chakras and things like that. Hell, heel, head, heaven. This is where all the power is. Head, heaven, your godlike consciousness. You know, I do have a lot of consciousness books. I think I'm a sneak in one of my spiritual books. I'm thinking about Dr. Joe Dispenza. I really like him a lot. I'm thinking about sneaking one of his books in, reading them on my YouTube. So I am getting very tired. I am getting tired. All right. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We have 52 minutes now. How do you know the difference between a rule worth following and one you need to break? I think you will feel it. I think it's felt. You'll know you'll feel it in your soul, you'll feel it in your core, but it's an energy thing for me. Mm. Why do we stay in situations, job, relationships, communities, even when they hurt us? Because we've been conditioned to, because we feel like we need that, because right now it's like the best thing right now, you know, because we're conditioned. A lot of times we're conditioned. Everything ain't gonna be peaches and cream. Sometimes you gotta take the mistreatment. No, you don't. You don't have to take mistreatment. You might get treated worse if you decide to step up for yourself. But being yourself and protecting yourself and standing up for yourself will put you in the right situations. It will. Who benefits from us following these invisible rules? The government, the people who runs things, the police. You know, a lot of times they just want us to follow rules because they don't want to do work. I don't know. What's one rule society puts on your identity? Gender, race, sexual. I've been told that I am masculine. Women should be masculine. Honey, we all have masculine and feminine energy. I believe feminine energy is way stronger than masculine energy. A lot of you men or boys may not believe that. You're going to think, oh my God, masculinity is stronger than femininity. Femininity is weak. No, it's not. That's why y'all created patriarchy, to control the feminine, because it's too powerful. It's too powerful. Femininity is very strong. For instance, if you are angry, men, I'm talking to guys. If you are angry, you got a wife, and you get very angry, like you finna kill some shit. I bet all your wife gotta do is come to you and say, baby, calm down. Everything is gonna be all right, babe. That will completely take you out of that anger you was in. Because that anger you was experiencing, you were using masculine energy with that. But guess what beat that anger? That feminine, soft energy. So if you ask me, feminine energy is much more powerful. I stronger than masculine. But I need y'all to know we carry both. We carry both. We carry both. I'm for energy. I believe that the way a person carry themselves will cause another person to submit. I don't submit because I feel like I have to. That's another rule. Submitting to men that we feel like we have to follow, which we don't have to follow. I don't have to submit to anybody I don't want to submit to. If you don't earn my submission, you just don't earn my submission, you know? So, yeah, what's one rule society puts on your identity? Yeah, submitting to men. And not only that though, a lot of women grew up like I'm gonna talk to me. I'm gonna talk to me. A lot of us grew up. I remember growing up in I felt like I always had to please men, no matter who they was. I always made sure I talked to them right. Um even when I was young, and I'm sorry if this is TMI. When I was young, I was molested by this guy, right? And it was to the point where I had to go to the police. My mom took me to the police. I had to write a police report, and I knew in my mind what happened. This man put his whole dick in my mouth. I was in the kindergarten, and I can remember, I uh, I felt his pee hole on the tip of my tongue. I will never forget this day. I will never forget this day. He put his dick in my mouth, and I was very, very uncomfortable, and I knew it wasn't right. And so when it came time for me to go to the police, and I was in the kindergarten, my mom took me to the police. I had to do a police report. I changed up the story because I didn't want him to get in trouble. I felt bad. I felt like I felt bad. And and I remember years later when I was in the seventh, I think sixth, fifth or sixth grade, I went to a dance, and I forgot what grade I was in, but I went to a dance and I seen this guy. I seen the guy that molested me when I was young. He was at the dance. And I went and bought me a Butterfinger, and I ended up seeing him and getting close to him. And I got so, I don't know what it was, but I pulled out my Butterfinger and I said, "Here, you can have this." And he looked at me, he like, "Oh, Mug's being nice today." And it's like, Free, why did you put yourself in this position? Why did you put yourself in this position? And I forgive him. You know, I don't know. I don't know. But it is what it is. Like I feel like most women they cater to the male ego, because I think most of us, we know that the male ego is so fragile. We try to protect them all the time, even if we don't even know it. We are protecting them. We're protecting their feelings because they're I think men are more emotional than we are. Men are more emotional than we are. Because when dudes start punching walls and shit, that ain't masculine. That's emotions. You're being emotional. That's not masculine. Huh? Just because you punched a wall, you're not masculine. You're emotional. You're very emotional. Okay. Okay. If you could break one rule without fear, if you could break one rule today without fear, what would it be? Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm so sorry, y'all. Y'all have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you so much for tuning in to Free World TV on reading our book Untamed. And as I always say, through every struggle, a statement is made. It's your girl Free, and I'm out. Peace.